Well, I guess I would say if you saw a movie called Beginners, you saw a movie directed by somebody named Mike Mills, who's a very special director, writer. He made this movie, and it's another step for him, I think, in filmmaking. It's very personal to him. It means a lot to all of us, and we loved making it. I played Dorothea, who is my age, who is a mother, a contractor, a draftswoman, who is trying to raise her son by herself. And she's very unpredictable. She is very funny and passionate, but also sort of an enigmatic. In this case, it was a pleasure because Mike's own sort of interest in his mother and his ability to articulate that and investigate it in a kind of unique way became an adventure for me too. I sort of got on the bandwagon with him in his exploration, and then it sort of becomes, now that the movie's out and people are seeing it, what I see is that everyone shares that intrigue to a degree of who their parents really are versus who they thought they were when they were. There's always the first impression of your parents when you're very little, and then there's the adolescent impression of your parents, and then there's what comes after that, which can get very interesting. So I think most people have that search. So it became fascinating. Oh, that was great. We had a lot of fun doing it. We enjoyed it. We all got to know each other that way. And, again, that's kind of something that actors sort of enjoyed it. You just jump in, you start moving. Moving is a lot easier than thinking sometimes and intellectualizing. So that was really a kick. And I remember a time that I thought, well, are we going to sit down and look at the script and talk about the script? And we weren't doing that. Instead, we were doing something, again, moving or improv or just something more abstract. And actually, that is a great way into finding the group dynamic as well as finding a character, rather than a sort of more intellectual approach. You can access more inside of yourself when you're not just using that part of your brain. Connecting with everyone who was working on the movie, that's always the most fun, because in movies you're never by yourself, even though on screen and on camera sometimes you are alone, and that can be sort of scary, but it's also beautiful and something that I love. But it's the connecting with other people and doing it as a group and the mutuality of it, the closeness. We have a naturally close, our job is that intimacy and finding intimacy between us, and so actors sort of lend themselves to that. So that's one of the real pleasures of the job, is each time you come into a group you become a family in a way, but in different ways depending on the story and the sensibility of the subject matter and the kind of director that you have. But in this one, we very much were a family, and so that's the most fun.